You may be thinking to yourself, Frank only made this video because he wants to use that thumbnail with the photo of him dressed up as Superman again. And if you're thinking that, well, I'm sorry to tell you that you are 100% correct. Okay. Did that just happen? Okay, I like Superman, what could I tell you? But seriously, today in this part 2 video, I'm going to share 3 more songs that you can always rely on when you're in a pinch as a solo acoustic artist at a gig and you're not sure what to play for the crowd. These 3 songs are probably the most requested songs that I've observed in over 25 years of playing solo acoustic. What are yours, by the way? Please let me know in the comments. And before we get started, please be sure to hit that thumbs up and to subscribe. At first, these 3 songs may seem cliche to those of you who have been doing this for a while, me included. But as I like to say, cliche saves the day. And to be quite honest, I did avoid playing these songs for a bit because you know how us musicians are, like we're just too cool to play the songs that are like cliche. But you seriously do need them in your pocket if you're a solo acoustic musician. If someone requests these songs and you don't know it, they almost look at you like you're crazy. So let's just get it out of the way and learn it. That being said, I'm going to share some tips to make these songs a bit cooler and more to your liking. And I'll show you some little embellishments that you can do to spice them up. Remember, you're not there to impress other musicians. I believe you're there to make people happy, so be a good sport. I found that this goes a really long way when you're going out there and playing for people, just being a good sport. When you do this right, they tend to hand you pieces of paper with presidents' faces on them. But most importantly, you're doing what I believe is your main job as a solo acoustic musician, and that is you're bringing a good vibe to the room. Okay, enough talk. Let's get into it. The first song that I am going to share with you today is Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. Reason being is because it's just a great song. It's got a good up feel. People love it. And it's got some cool little fills that I can show you. Some things you can use to spice it up, okay? Let's start with that telltale opening intro. It's based off of a G chord. So we're just playing on the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 8th fret, 1st finger on the 1st string, 7th fret. Then we're sliding up to the 10th fret, 3rd finger on the 2nd string, 1st finger on the 8th fret, 1st string. So that's the first riff. Then the whole thing slides up where our 2nd finger is now on the 13th fret and our 1st finger is on the 12th fret. Okay, that's a C chord. So we repeat that pattern, okay? Then we're playing this kind of baby C chord where our 1st finger is on the 7th fret of the G string and our pinky is playing the A note. Actually, it's a D chord, I'm sorry. Is playing an A note on the 10th fret of the B string. So okay. 7, 8, 10. That is the opening riff. Sounds like this. Into the song. Song is in the key of G. Hey, where did we go? So G. Hey, where would we go? C. G. When the rain came. D. Down in the hollow. Very simple. Playing a new game. Now, on these D chords, you can do these little embellishments. Right? We're playing a new game. I'll show you what they are. It's basically a D chord played with only 2 strings. We have our 2nd finger playing the F sharp on the G string, the 11th fret, and our 1st finger playing the 10th fret on the high E string. It's like a D chord. D, F sharp, 1, 3. Slide it down a whole step. Then we switch to this position. So we have 7th fret, 2nd finger, 3rd string, 7th fret, 1st string, 3rd finger. We can come back down to the G chord. So that's our 1st finger is on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and our 2nd finger is on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. So we basically, if we get this under our belt, we can use this to embellish our way up and down the song, okay? These are cool things we could do to liven up the song. Let's say we had the song on a loop. Right? We can use these. We could use these double stops to dress up the song, make it a little cooler, okay? Song's very, very simple. Let's get through it a little bit. So, okay. Hey, where did we go? See. Days when the rains came down in the hollow, playing a new game. Repeat, laughing and a rumming, skipping and a jumping, in the misty morning, hearts are thumping, and you see D, brown-eyed girl. Ah, that's another cool thing you could do. Play the G chord like this, where we have our 1st finger on the low E 3rd fret, our 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and our 3rd finger on the high E string 3rd fret. To the D chord, to the E minor chord. So we get that little melody that happens in it, right? Brown-eyed girl, E minor, C, you're my D, brown-eyed girl. Ah, this time I'm playing this little D triad, C triad, G triad, D triad. Again. So hard to find my way. Okay? Use these little tricks and you can make that song sound a lot cooler and just a little bit more like the record. Now, I'm not going to get into grave detail about each little move. I like to show people where to dig, right? Where they can dig around, give you the ideas, and then you take the shovel and you start digging and finding these things for yourself. It's going to make it way more valuable to you. And we don't have time in this video to go into in-depth study of every single nuance of the songs. Let's get to song number 2. Okay, the second song is Take Me Home Country Road by John Denver. Okay, we all know this is cliche. Let me tell you, for years people would ask me to play this song. I would play a lot of James Taylor and all this other stuff, and they'd come up to me, can you play Take Me Home Country Road, John Denver? And I would tell them I don't play it. And they would look at me like I had 3 heads. Like, how could you not play this? You're playing Fire and Rain and all of these. You're playing Jim Croce and you don't play Take Me Home Country Road. And I don't know, I guess it just never really hit me. Let me tell you, when I started actually playing it, what a great song. You know, don't think you're too cool to play anything. These are great songs. And our job is to be a sport and to embrace these songs. And I find once you start playing them, you kind of realize why they are great songs. Okay. The song is in the key of A. The best way to play it really is to have it capoed on the 2nd fret and then you're playing the G shape, which is now an A chord, right? I like to alternate. Down, down, down. I'm alternating from the low E string to the A string, right? E minor shape. D, 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 D. Again, I'm alternating. Low E, A. D shape. I'm alternating D string, A as my bass note. D, 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 D. Right? life is old there, rolling in the trees, younger than the 90s, brewing from the breeze. Chorus to G, take me home, country road, whatever it is, to the place, E minor, I belong to C. And it repeats. Now, what are some other things we could do to kind of spice it up? Well, that alternating bass, like I said, you can hammer on that first finger on the G chord or the A chord. I like that. E minor. Hammer on the third finger. D. Hammer on the first finger. C chord, hammer on the second finger. Maybe make a sus chord out of that G. Life is old there, rolling in the pine, dinner from the zoo, zee-dee-doo-doo-doo. I don't know the words exactly right now, but great, great song. What are some other things we could do? Well, how about those double stops again? You know, in the intro of the song, you got that kind of that A chord, G shape, that just kind of rings. So let's say we had that looped. Again, those double stops. Now, how are we going to do them with this song? Well, we're going to play a little baby A chord. Our second finger is on the second string, 10th fret. Our first finger is on the first string, 9th fret. It's an A chord, A, C sharp. It goes with this. We can slide up C sharp, E, which is basically the top end of the A chord, right? It's the 3 and the 5. So, third finger is on the 14th fret. First finger is on the 12th fret. Okay, that's on the B string and the E string. Just slide that down. And you can use those to dress up the song. Okay? You can also use these. So that's what we're skipping over the B string. We have our second finger on the 6th fret of the G string and our first finger on the 5th fret of the E string. Okay? That is an A chord. And we just slide it up like that. You can use these to dress up the song. Now the bridge, really, really cool. I hear her voice. It goes to that E minor. The melody you're going to have to pay attention to because the melody of the song is a little bit kind of, it just changes a little bit. So you're going to have to listen to it. I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. Radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road. Oh, F shape. Really cool. I get this feeling that I should have been home yesterday. To D7 yesterday, which is actually not a D7 in this case, but it's an E7 because we're capoed. Take me home, back to the top. Excellent song. Take me home, country road, John Denver. And last but not least, we have Sweet Caroline, Neil Diamond. Say what you want about this song, and God knows I did for the longest time. But this is a great song and one you should know. I remember I played a private party once, and somebody told me, oh, you're playing a party for the Ryans? At some point in the night, play Sweet Caroline. Watch what happens. So I'm playing the party, and they're all in the kitchen. I don't know where these people were. They weren't even in the room I was playing in. And I said, you know, let me try this out. I started playing Sweet Caroline. They came out of the kitchen in a conga line, like 50 people. I was like, whoa. I never seen anything like it. Anyway, Sweet Caroline, don't poo-poo the song. I know we're snotty musicians and we don't want to play the cliche stuff, but you know, people like it. Anyway, song is in B. I like to capo it on the 2nd fret. Okay, and we're going to play using the based around the A shape, so it's in the key of B, but we're kind of thinking of it in the key of A based on our open shapes. Now we have this intro kind of thing. show you how to play it. We're going to use just the low E string and the A string. It's centered around the 5 chord, this E7 chord for our chord shape, E7, or E chord, right? So we're going to, only our 5th string pattern is going to move. Our low E string is going to stay the same. Okay? 4, 6, 7. Right? 7, 9, 11. 11, 13, 14. 18, 16. So that last part. Where it began to the D shape. I can't begin to knowing. Back to the A shape. But then again, it's coming on. Right? We know the song. Was in the spring, but spring became the summer. Could have believed we come along. Warm, A. D, touching warm. E, reaching out. D, touching me, touching you, back to the E. Now here's a cool thing we could do. Sweet Caroline, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, everybody does that. That's kind of become part of the song over the years. We can simulate that by playing an E triad and a B triad. E triad. So we're on the 13th fret of the G string, and then we're barring the 12th fret of the B and the E string. It's an F shape. Then we're going to go to the D shape, and our 3rd finger is on the 12th fret of the B string. We're playing a B major chord. 1st finger is on the 11th fret of the G string. 2nd finger is on the 11th fret of the E string. So, sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. E. One more time. Maybe slide up. Give it a little style. To believe they never. E, D. Minor chord on our 4th fret. Back it up a whole step. So, to believe they never would, but now I'm. Look at the sun, whatever the words are, okay? So, again, the chorus. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. So good. I've been inclined to believe they never would, but. Right? Then in the middle of the song, it goes back to that. Caroline, back to the chorus. These are 3 songs. Put them in your toolkit. Give them a chance. They really are good songs, and I think you and your audience will have a lot of fun playing them. Make sure you check out part 1 at the end of this video, and then you'll have a total of 8 songs. I'm Frank Persico. I will see you in the next video. Take care.